Hi guys, Crownie here. I haven't really made a tier list video in a while, and there's been a lot of talk of like mages bot and all of that, so I thought I would make a new one, and we can go through some of my picks. So first, let me start with like Z tier mages. I will say like the best mages are these three. Z mage. Let's put it S mage, okay? And this is S ADC. I would say Syndra, Victor, and Cartus. They just scale the best. They're the most consistent, and they work in the most lanes. I think Ziggs is pretty good too, but you just can't really carry a game as hard as some of these champs. I feel like on Victor, eventually you just start outpoking anyone you lane against. But in terms of carry potential, I would put Cartus and Syndra a bit above him. And then for ADCs, I would say Tristana and Jinx are the best. And then, because also, by the way, when this video is out, Yuntal is already buffed. And next patch, they'll buff Berserkers. And they're actually going to buff Runans by 10% AD and 1% movement speed as well. So that will actually help like Jinx and Zeri and stuff. But I don't think the free MR changes they're proposing will push mages out of bot lane. I think they will still be strong, so don't worry about that. But I just wanted to make this video to talk a little bit about the state of bot lane right now, I guess. Obviously, I will be changing up some of the champions during the video, so I'm sorry for that. Like, I feel like it's better that it's off my head a little bit than to just be completely scripted. I think Kai'Sa got buffed recently. They buffed her passive a lot. And a really good item build you can go is Voltaic with like Shiv, Voltaic, Ludens. You legit just one-shot people. It's really good. You can play PTA. Passive buff was just good for her because she uses her passive the whole game, so it's like really noticeable. Kog'Maw, I would for sure put A as well because he just has so many builds. He can play AP, he can play Onhi, they buff Terminus, they're buffing Berserkers next patch, they're buffing Runans, which he also likes some games. So I just feel like he just likes all of the changes. I would put Lucian like B tier if he has melee or he's A tier, but otherwise he's B tier. And the reason I put some of these mages here is, as I said, Ziggs' scare potential is not as high as the others, even though he can be strong, and I feel like Zeraf and Vel'Koz just need a bit more execution, and Vladimir, these three kind of just play each other. Like, I mean, I don't think Syndra is that super easy, but I think the champ is just really OP. Eventually just start one-shotting people. Obviously, I put Malphite as A tier, only into AD carries. Obviously, next patch, when people start playing more AD carries, like, I'm not even trolling, you can pick Malphite bot if your team needs tankiness. You essentially beat every AD carry. And I also put Maokai. I think he's actually good into mages with, like, TP. I played it a few times on stream. I actually won with Baus playing Skarner Fatality, and I played Maokai. There's a video on my YouTube. Other than that, I mean, like, MF, Nyla, I think just C tier. MF, I would probably put A. Is there any that are like a bit weird here to me? I think Nyla is just dead champ. She's been dead for ages. She's horrible into mages, especially in roaming support meta in high elo. Like, what does the XP do when your support is not in lane ever? It just doesn't do anything. Aphelios is just way too slow and way too slow to carry the game. I think Sivir probably gets bumped up a tier with Yuntal and Berserker's buffs because she gets like 10% attack speed. Obviously, you need to pick her in like good states where she can actually hit in teamfights, because otherwise her 500 range is just miserable to play with. Yunara and Corki got buffed, right? That's why I put Yunara on top of B and Corki in like A. I think he's pretty good into mages, and they buffed his scaling by quite a bit. Like, now when you have more crit, you have way more ults, and you just have AD growth, and he uses AD on every attack. So that's pretty nice. Apparently, Ashe got like 1.5% bigger win rate with Yuntal buffs, so I assume Yuntal Berserkers and in melee games Runans is gonna just feel insane on Ashe. She's gonna get like so much more DPS, like at least like 10% more DPS from before, which is insane. Varus could be like B tier. I think obviously Smolder is like mega dead. Is any of them D? I'll just leave them C, probably. You can play them, but it's just gonna be miserable. Sylas works into mages. Like, you just need to fist fight bot a lot, but probably I will put him like somewhere here. Bottom, nah, I'll put him B. People will think you're trolling if you pick it. I don't like Cassio bot that much. Zarya is like, okay, there's better mages. I don't like Mel at all, personally. Just think you don't carry games. Let me see if there's something I'm missing. Veigar, let's put B tier. I just think the champion is too slow for how the game is played right now. Like, it obviously can be played, but I just think you're better suited playing other things. Seraphine got nerfed a lot. I will pull like B. Luke's also like B tier. Just other mages just carry harder. But yeah, like for now, I would say for the next patches, keep an eye out on Yuntal AD carries. They are for sure the best because they're buffing Berserkers, which they like. They're buffing Yuntal and they're buffing Runans, which means you just go Bloodline every game and you have like 10% extra attack speed and your Runans balls deal more damage. So they upped your carry potential by a lot. And they're buffing fleet. So for example, Zeri, I think Zeri will be like top of 8 tier next patch. It will be like here. Because into mages or hard matchups, you go fleet, they buffed Runans, which is insane on her. They buffed Yuntal, which is good on her. And they buffed Berserkers. So Zeri is gonna be like fucking good, I think. That's my prediction right now. Olaf is like B tier, it can be played bot. I can like put some like unconventional troll ones that I think are actually viable. Like I think Sion works. The others people will just think you're trolling. Yasuo is A if you're good at it, for sure. Probably a bit worse into mages. I mean, he's, yeah, no, I think it's actually still fine. Yeah, as long as you're good on him, he's still fine. Irelia like B tier, Katarina A tier if you're good on her, like fucking broken with Terminus buffs, just nobody plays it. Cho probably like B tier. Yeah, something like that. I think Zaya also will benefit from the Yuntal Berserkers buffs, for sure. Essentially a pretty good solo queue champ. I'll probably bump her up to A, just because it's good to have champions that are good into people playing Kinyu, but she's kind of bad into mages. But I think the mage changes are a bit placebo, but generally that's all that it takes for the player rate to drop, especially if it drops in competitive, which means people will play less mages, people play more AD carries, so I think Zaya will be better. That's like kind of my like thesis, I guess. Also shit like Camille is just getting nerfed and removed from support pool, so your supports won't win trade games by roaming. Other than that, I think Ashe higher than Zeri, I would say. Yeah, Corki. I think this is pretty accurate. Yeah, I think the main one is like to see which mages are the most OP out. Is this free for sure, as I mentioned. And then AD carry potential is for sure Tristana, because she's good into every mage, because you can just all in. You start Q in every matchup. If you should never start E, because it's just kind of useless spell. Q gives you 60% attack speed, you just win level 1 with Doran's bow, you feast everyone. So try that. Try to go Yuntal now, they buffed it. If you have so much attack speed with Yuntal, you can just skip Navori, go straight into IE, Last Whisper, fucking feast everyone. You can go Bloodline instead of Alacrity, because with C4 you have to play Alacrity. Jinx I already mentioned. Ashe I mentioned Yuntal. Caitlyn I think she was always good, nothing changed. There I mentioned the buffs. These mages I think are good, but just a bit harder because they're kind of more immobile, have less peel. Corki got buffed. Draven obviously if you're good on it. Kaisa got buffed. Can play multiple builds. Can play like Bloodline build, AP build, on-hit build, Alacrity, you know, W max second, E max second, like so many options. MF can play lethality or crit, pretty good. These are good if you like Yasuo and Katarina are good if you are like a one trick or like if you play them a lot. And I would say all these AD carries are pretty good. I would say Senna is kind of meh right now. Probably Varus I'll put a little bit lower, maybe even C tier. Yeah, would I put anything in D? Probably Smolder, something like that. Jean, B, that's fine. And I'm trying to think if I missed something. Yeah, I mean, I think for now that's pretty much it. Like, I don't want to go into like super long-winded. I will make a big tier list post on the next patch when they do all the AD carry changes with Runans and shit. I think a lot of these champions like Zeri and Ashe and Jinx and will benefit a ton from those changes, and they will just completely shoot up in win rate into like the correct comps. But so far I think this is pretty accurate. I'm happy that Riot is actually doing a lot about the mages. I actually don't think the mages itself are an issue. I think the bigger issue was roaming supports, and then AD carries had to fend for themselves. And when your AD carry has to fend for themselves, you either play like Corki or champions like mages that just have built-in wave clear. So I think actually supports were to blame. For example, there was a Reddit thread about me saying I will drop 15 deaths on my supports who roam and int my game. And I got mega flamed, but I just think the support playstyle is completely toxic, and I think Riot will move a bit away from the melee support, maybe a little bit more into enchanters, so it will enable a lot of these hyper carries, because I actually talked to Frogzone on Twitter and he agreed that there's a little bit too little hyper carries. They just try to move away from them after first end, but I think they're slowly trying to find a balance before Worlds, because it makes for more exciting games when AD carries can carry. Yeah, sorry for like the no posting on YouTube or no guides. Just let me know in chat which guide you want me to do, and let me know what content you want me to make. I can also make like replay content of a lot of things. I just need to know what you guys want to watch. I was a bit inefficient doing it, but I really promise I will do it. Please make sure to subscribe and like, and see you guys on the next video. Bye, much love.